and parampara, so that we are going to receive this knowledge from Guru Sishya Parampara, right? We cannot directly go to Krishna because Krishna is not visible to us. So we have their representative through which we get the knowledge, right? So we'll start with Mangalacharan and then we'll start with the session. So you can also repeat with me, or you can, if you know, you can, if you don't know, you can just listen. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Savadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we dedicate this session to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Because of His mercy, we are able to understand maybe little bit this knowledge which is secret. Bhagavad Gita is a open secret, right? How can something open secret? If it is open, it cannot be secret, right? How we can say Bhagavad Gita is open secret? Because understand, right? You can buy in the market, there are so many shops, right? You can buy, but when you read, it is difficult to understand, right? So secret, so we can understand this secret through Acharya, through Guru, right? So one of the Guru is Srila Prabhupada, and like whose endeavor, who spread this message of Godhead to all over the world. So we know this Bhagavad Gita session, this Gita course has 9 sessions, right? So what all session? So we completed this secret of happiness, right? Why everyone is searching for happiness, right? What is the secret behind this? And then key to success, right? So success and happiness, they are same, right? If somebody is success, he will be happy. And if the person is happy, that means he is successful in the life, right? And then sufferings. So we forgot one thing, when we go for success, we have to suffer in the way, right? We have to trouble, we have to work hard to achieve something, right? So suffering is there, but how to overcome that? So that we discussed. And then we discussed the work, art of work, like karma, right? So how karma is there. And now today is very important, is importance of a guide, right? And then the next session will be balanced lifestyle, we'll see. And then am I in control, right? So I am in control or not. So we'll understand how, if I am controlled, then how I am controlled. And then who is the supreme controller, right? If somebody is controlled, then somebody is controller also, right? And then what is the ultimate perfection of this human life, right? What we want to achieve from this human life. So not taking much time. So importance of guide, and what are the agendas for the today is, do I need a guide? We'll see this. And then our attitude, we'll discuss that, am I ready to accept help from someone? So we will discuss on that. And then what are the different kind of guides? We will also see them. And then what is the characteristic of a real guru? We will understand, because there are so many gurus outside, but who is a real guru? And then we will understand about the different Vaishnav Sampradaya, right? Because knowledge should come from a bona fide way, right? So what are the Vaishnav Sampradaya? And we will also see who is Srila Prabhupada, right? Because of which we are sitting here. And then we'll discuss what is the practical way I can apply this knowledge in my life, right? So we'll go through that. So now this is question to everybody. Do I need a guide? Anybody here who don't need a guide in their life? Okay, so I think we have to end the session. Because if you already are convinced that you need a guide, then we don't know, go to further. Because this session is the people who don't need a guide. Then we have to make them. Okay. But still, we should know why that I need a guide. Why should we know? Because we have to tell other also. We have to preach. We have to tell people outside, right, who are going today in the restaurants. They don't have this, they don't serious about spiritual knowledge, right? So to like spread this knowledge, to make other know about this, we have to also learn it, right? Okay. So in the last session, we covered this, right? And this is very, very relevant. Why I need a guide. If you see, this is very scientific, systematic way that we understood. Anybody want to elaborate, like what is this from the last sessions? This is from Bhagavad Gita, right? So Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that how a person fall down, so it starts from the sense object, right? So suppose if you are attracted to any sense object, then we contemplate on that object, and then we develop an attachment, and then attachment, if you are attached, that means it will increase every day for that object. And when attachment increases, then what will happen? Lust will develop, right? And when lust is there, if lust is unfulfilled, if lust is fulfilled, then more attachment, more contemplation, its cycle will go on. But if lust is unfulfilled, then anger will come. Why I'm not getting it, right? Many times it happens, right? Why I'm not getting, why I'm not getting. Then if anger will come, then intelligence, mind will bewilder. है ना? बोलते हैं ना कि गुस्से में कोई भी निर्णय नहीं लेना चाहिए, है ना? We should not take decisions when we are angry, right? And we should not promise anybody when we are happy, right? So these two things are very, very important for us, right? So when we are angry, then mind is bewildered. That means our intelligence is not functioning. We are lost. And when intelligence is lost, then wrong action, and then person fall down. So this is very systematic cycle which is explained in Bhagavad Gita, right? And it starts from which? Sense, right? And then we also learn that how senses, mind, intelligence and soul are interconnected, right? So here if you see, we have five senses here, and these five senses are like a 5 horses, right? And mind is like a rein, and the intelligence is the driver, chariot driver, and soul is the passenger. So if the intelligence are not in control, suppose the horses are not in control of a chariot, then person will fall down, right? If chariot is not under control, horse will run here and there, will not able to go to our destination, and person might also fall down, right? So that is the reason we understood that senses should be controlled through intelligence with the help of the mind, so that we have a very nice journey. Soul should have a nice journey, right? So this is explained here in Bhagavad Gita, which is very, very important. So you can also repeat after me. This is very important shloka. We'll understand this. Indriyanam hi charatam यन्मे नो नु विधूयते तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावम् इव वशी. Anybody would like to read translation? Yes.
As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence.
Okay. So very important. So like a strong wind sweeps away a boat. Similarly, even one sense, we have a 5 senses, right? Even one senses which we are very much focused, that senses will take us our intelligence, right? So suppose there is an example, deer, right? Deer is very very much attracted by the sound. That is the reason when this hunter, they want to catch the deer, they will make some sound, and then deer will attract towards that sound, and then hunter in the forest, they will catch the deer, right? And similarly, if we see the bees are very very much attracted by the fragrance of the flower, right? And there is a one flower, carnivorous flower. Which flower is that? Pitcher plant. It opens like this. So bees goes, it closes, dies, right? And fish, when somebody throws a bait, immediately fishes tries to catch, right? Because she want to eat. Shishi Gandharvika Girdhari Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Lakshmi Narsingh Bhagwan ki jai, Nitai Gaur Sundar ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So fish is also very much fond of eating, right? So only one sense, which is tongue, right? And then comes the elephant. How elephant, like people catch elephant? They keep a she elephant in front of that when in the forest, and they make a very big hole, big pit, and that pit is covered by some leaves, and when an elephant tries to come to the she elephant, he falls down into that pit, right? So like his sense of touch, right? And sense of sight. We know that during this rain season, many insects, they get attracted towards the light, right? And they were so much attracted that goes in the light and then they dies, right? So see, these examples are of, although they are of lower elements, but we see that their only one senses is very very prominent in them. But as a human being, we have all the 5 senses are very prominent, right? We know our 5 senses are super developed. So what will happen to us? There they are not able to control one sense. Here we have 5 senses that we have to control, right? So that is the reason Krishna says, and among that 5 senses, even one sense, if it goes towards their object, it's very very difficult, and person can fall down with that only, right? So here, this person is jumping into the sea. Now, tell me at what stage the person can stop himself? First stage? Any like second, third stage? Can he stop? No, right? Only at the first stage he can stop. So similarly, in that chart which we discussed, what is the first stage? Sense object, right? So we have to stop ourselves on this stage only, because if this cycle starts, then it's very difficult to control, right? So why we are understanding this? Because am I ready to accept help from someone? See, when our senses are not in control, we're going to discuss this, that if our senses are not in control, then should we need help from someone? Okay? Very important, right? A person is trying to save us, like many times, like in our office also, or in our day-to-day life also. If somebody knows better than us and we are on a higher level or higher position, when we go for a help or we ask, okay, can you give me like how to write this code? Maybe that person is junior, right? Or anything. In our studies also, I'm having good marks, or like my other classmate who's not having good marks, that but he knows some concept very nicely. So it's sometimes it's very difficult for us, right, to go and ask that person, right? So here also, if you see, a person is falling down and one person is giving his hand for the help, but the only thing which is stopping us is ego, right? So ego is a very heavy bag in us, right? Are you all like, this is it correct, right? We have very heavy bag, and that because of that reason only many times we reject the help, although we need the help, but कहते हैं ना कि मुझे सब कुछ आता है ना? We just give our mind that I know everything, but although we don't know anything, right? So that is very, very important, that we should understand that this is one thing which is stopping me, right? So we'll understand how we can overcome this. And there is a story also, like in Mahabharata, when Akrura, on request of Krishna, he went to Dhritarashtra to tell that don't just give this kingdom to Pandavas. Then Dhritarashtra, he told Akrura that I cannot give because I am very much attached to my son Duryodhan, right? So persons, when they are very much attached, that's very, very difficult for them to give up something, right? And ego is also one of the things which we are very much attached to. It's very difficult to give up our ego. You know, in this material world, the last thing which goes away is false ego. There are two ego, true ego and false ego. True ego means that knowing that I am the servant of the Lord, I have to serve the Lord. This is the true ego, that okay, because unless and until there is an I, that means we have ego. So but this I, when we identify falsely that I am the CEO of this company, or I am the master of this house, so these are false ego, because they are again linked with our body, right? Tomorrow when I die, then this house or this thing will not be there, right? So where this I gone? That is the reason it's a false ego, because we are misidentifying us as a body, right? So ego should be given up, and this will come at the end of our life. This is the last stage. If you see here, again very important, that to err is human. We know, right? Because in our life, nobody is there, like, is anybody who has not done any mistake in their life? Nobody, right? So Mahatma Gandhi also, although he was a father of a nation, but he did a mistake. And what is that mistake is that after this independence in 1948, there was a one person who told Mahatma Gandhi that do not go to that meeting in New Delhi, because we know that there's some planning are there to kill you. But Mahatma Gandhi didn't accept it, and he went, and we know that what happened there, right? So Mahatma Gandhi was killed by one person, right? So and then Ravana and Vibhishan, right? When Ravana kidnapped Sita Mata, then Vibhishan told many times Ravana that just give Sita Mata back, right? Otherwise our dynasty will get ruined, right? So again, and then we know this very famous person. Who is that? Hitler, right? So again, how they want to invade Russia, but people told that don't do that, and then they are gone, right? So we are pointing these persons is because these persons are the great persons, right? Ravana was a very intelligent person, right? Mahatma Gandhi also very intelligent person, right? All these persons are very great person, but because they have done some mistake in their life, and due to which they have to suffer, right? So we all need a guide in our life to succeed, right? So if you see that these professions, to like become a very good sports person,